here for METAL4, and we're talking to Paradise Lost. It's actually before your show, right? So welcome to Rock Hearts.
Thank you very much, Jason.
Thank you. I like actually to talk about the new album right away. It's a little bit more melodic, it's still dark, and as your as the melody, the kind of melody you play. You care? Is it certain direction you're taking now, or is it?
We don't really think about direction too much. I mean, when you finish the last album you finish, you just take a little time to assess what you're going to do for the next one, and we just got to start. If the music we write excites us, then that's a good place to start. You know, if we're excited by it, then we know it's right. You know, if we don't get anything from it, then no one else will. So.
Is there certain inspiration points during a period of time that affects actually?
I mean, you can just, even if you discover new bands, you know, there's a new band that you're into, they can kind of inspire you to sort of cool. I mean, not so much as copying them, but I mean, you know, it's always nice to hear new bands that, you know, you kind of, because it's kind of far and few between bands that we actually like these days. You know, there's so much about. But I mean, a lot of the time, you know, you can look at the past at stuff you liked. So, I mean, Gray's got very much into death metal in the last few years. Again, it's gone like in a full cycle over the 20 years. Yeah, so
yeah. I think you just go back to look at stuff you used to be when you were younger. I think.
Yeah. Wow.
Always.
Well, since you mentioned the death metal, because I know where you came from, it's like, is there any prospect of you actually going that far, like when you started playing death metal again?
No, I don't think so. I mean, there's so much water under the bridge since those days. I mean, I just don't think it would. You know, it wouldn't have the same sort of impact anyway. And, you know, for us to kind of go back to that sort of thing.
A lot of bands do it really well as well. So, you know, now.
Yeah, a lot of bands do it better than we ever did it. So it's, but we just did it kind of, you know, quite early on. So.
Yeah, but you don't take into consideration what's kind of expected of you or something like that.
Not really, because it's
a little bit. You always have to. Think about, you know, your fans, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's at the back of your mind, but again, it goes back to what I said. If you don't like what you're doing, then you can't expect them to like it. So if you're into what you're doing, then, you know, hopefully people will like it.
Yeah, it's actually a question I had later on about since you've been around for such a long time, and you've obviously seen how like the scene has changed, both the music industry and the metal scene for that matter as well. What are your thoughts about that? I mean, from when you released your first albums to where you are now?
I mean, it's just the case of it's just grown. The number of people making music's grown. It's much easier and cheaper for people to make music now. I mean, you know, you can do it in your bedroom. You don't need any money to make albums or record anything. When we were kind of teenagers, there was about 6 bands that were heavy metal. You know, and
the computers were the size of houses.
Yeah, I mean, and then it's just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And now it's got to the point where it's saturated. It's really, I think it's probably quite hard for younger fans to find good bands to listen to because there's just so much out there. You know, it must be pretty hard to be channeled in the right direction to say, listen to this band and this band. But I mean, from our point of view, we always go back to the original stuff like Sabbath because it's still the best as far as I'm concerned. You know, so it's. But yeah, it's just grown, and I mean, obviously the internet's completely changed the music industry completely. You know, that's the biggest change, I think. You know.
I kind of remember the 90s scene was pretty special, actually, because it started out with all this death metal, and then most of the death metal bands started experimenting a lot, and you were kind of spearheading a lot of the sort of gothic touch. Is there any specific fond memories of that period? Because,
no, I mean, probably some of the best. You know, when it was new and fresh, it was, you know, it was fantastic at first. Yeah, it was great. You know, some of the shows, hanging out, the whole, because it wasn't a big thing. There was only a certain amount of people in towns that liked this stuff, so it was ours. You know, it was the, you know, when we used to like Metallica when we were kids, they used to be our band because no one else liked them. Then when they became massive, it's like, oh.
Yeah.
You know, and but the same with the gothic metal thing. It was ours.
Some sort of.
Yeah, and then it became, you know, much bigger, and then it changed. But I mean, people say that to me about, you know, Paradise Lost. They say, oh, you know, I liked the old stuff because it was like Scene, and then it kind of got bigger, and, you know, it changed.
Yeah, with you it's like a sort of development through each album actually. Apart from like perhaps the 2 first albums was a little bit more brutal, and then you started doing.
But I mean,
the whole
if you do something long enough, I don't, you know, some bands can stay the same for like 20 years. I just don't know how they can do that. It's boring. Life's about change, variety. You know, I just think, you know, sometimes I have a beer, sometimes I don't. You know, some people keep the same thing all the time. You know, as individuals, you know, I'm personally, I don't feel like that at all. I like to change and try different things out. You know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You know.
Well, we certainly hope for a real brutal show tonight.
Yeah.
Brutal with Paradise Lost. And basically that's all I got. And
Cheers, man.
I'd like to leave with some special words for the viewers.
Just have a beer.
Yes.
Have a beer.
Yeah.
Keep on smoking it and have a beer.
Yeah.
People have a lot of beers in Germany.
I know.
The old beer.
Yeah.
That's what we like.
Okay,
That's what
thank
we
you.
come on.